This is Slip and the Man, where we bring you the biggest topics and news to you, along with our jokes, thoughts, notes, opinions, outlook, viewpoints, and beliefs. Man, what a hell of a first week of football, man.
I'd say it was.
My team got its ass whooped, and I'm still happy.
That's saying something for sure.
It's definitely saying something. Your team got a good win on the road.
Big, huge win. Huge win. Absolutely huge, man.
We got a lot to get into today, man. Of course, we're going to go over what we feel are the biggest games of week one. We're going to give a little bit of a preview of what's going on in week two. We're definitely going to get into a little bit of the MLB MVP conversation in the American League, as well as the National League. And of course, we are going to do our picks of the week, which are different. We're doing all NFL picks against the spread. Man, I am excited for today. What do you want to talk about first? I have a feeling of what you're going to talk about first because you've been bragging about it all week. Do you want to cover this now or do you want to cover this later?
Let's do it now. Let's get right into it. The Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers game.
That's a huge ass win for the Steelers to absolutely shut down Josh Allen more than any team has been able to do for a year. And Josh Allen did not look like old Josh Allen. He just didn't have a good game. And I want to make sure there's that difference. He didn't regress. He definitely did not regress. However, he just didn't have a good game. And that's going to happen.
It is.
That is definitely going to happen. But what did you see in that game that made you feel like what did the Steelers do well to shut down Josh Allen?
They made him throw the ball. They made him throw for like 50 plus times, I believe. He did have a couple runs, that everyone was covered. He took off, did his thing where he escaped the pocket. Mate got the first down a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, when you make any quarterback throw for over 40 times in a game, that means your defense is doing stop and run. They don't. That's one thing Buffalo struggles right now. They don't really have a running back, like a good elite running back to get the running game going, and that's what Josh Allen needs. He needs a true RB1 who can help control the clock. He needs to have like that Lamar Jackson type style, like maybe not the full-on rushing attack that Baltimore has, but they need more balanced. After that, they might go into the next week. It might just been their game plan. They try to go air raid on the Steelers, but Josh Allen just needs to be able to have that run game to help make it easier on him. Where he doesn't have to throw that many times because he cannot be doing that every week.
I don't think there's many QBs that can throw over 50 times and safely say they're going to win that game. I think Aaron Rodgers may be able to throw it over 50 times and may be able to win the game. I don't even think Brady can throw it over 50 times and guarantee a win. It's just not good to be doing things like that. And Josh Allen definitely isn't that type of QB that you can depend on to throw over 50 times and think that you're going to win the game. The dude had 21 incompletions.
Yeah.
And didn't even throw for over 300 yards. If you're dropping back over 50 times, you better throw for over 300 yards, and you better get more than one touchdown. He wasn't able to do that.
No, not at all, which is so surprising because he has good receivers. Stephon Diggs still played. He might be a little roughed up, injured a little bit, but still, they shut Stephon Diggs down too, which was, for me, a big success because Steelers, Joe Hayden just getting older. He's not able to, that lockdown corner as he once was in his prime. And they lost Steven Nelson last year, the free agency. And but a couple of their young cornerbacks stepped up. That Cam Sutton came to play. And they have a couple other young guys that did a heck of a job at least last week. So I just hope that that secondary can keep it up because if they can actually stop the pass, we already know they can stop the run. They got a big
Yeah.
Great defensive front. They got great linebackers, but that secondary can keep it up. That's going to be the big question mark going forward if they can keep playing like that.
Yeah, that defense played phenomenally. Only 3 sacks in that game. However, I saw a stat where they were able to provide pressure, and they were one of the least blitzed. They were the defense that blitzed one of the least in the whole league in that week one, and they were still able to get pressure on Josh Allen.
And to
That's
add
incredibly impressive.
and to add to that too, like you said, I think they only had one blitz. I believe I saw a little stat out there, and out of had 3 guys in the top 5 for most pressures on that defense. 3 different defensive players had them were in the top 5 for most pressures in week one, and only had one blitz, which is absolutely absurd because that is to get pressure like that without blitzing. That's great because that means you have more coverage. You don't have to worry about losing, having to get to the quarterback and having an open space somewhere in the field. So that was just phenomenal.
Yeah. And the big thing is Josh Allen did not throw an interception, but he fumbled twice. That's
Yes,
huge.
it is. And T.J. Watt got that big money. He got a big strip sack. Was it this? Still in the first half, second half. I can't remember, but that was a momentum changer, like you'd like to say. I know you love momentum, and that really was a huge play that they needed because that first half, Steelers' offense did not look good at all, and it was their defense.
I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. We can talk about Josh Allen throwing 50 times and not really being able to lead his team to victory, but I mean, on the other hand, hey man, is Ben Roethlisberger cooked?
No, not at all.
Because he looked well done. No pink in the middle.
I mean, he obviously is older, and but I just think we still have a new offensive coordinator this year, and he only played one preseason game. He looked great in that preseason game, but then again, you're playing it's a preseason game in the end. So I think it's just going to take a couple weeks, probably getting that playbook, a little bit of the slight changes they made to it, and get that get his rhythm back because he only played one preseason game. He's got to get that That's why the week one's hard to determine one team if they played bad. It could have just been that they didn't play all the preseason games. They just need those reps again to get going. So, but that was a big concern to me. But the defense did what I knew they could do, which was they can hold their own. But I didn't know if they could hold their own that long against Josh Allen and that offense.
So I want to ask a selfish question here.
Okay.
Because I believed you, and I drafted Najee Harris in one of my fantasy football teams. What do you see from him? He only had 16 carries for 45 yards. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it was, but he also played every snap of the game. And so that right there shows you that they are going to use him. That tells you that they played a good defense. Bills are a good defense. So that he's in the game every snap. So he's bound to have a game that going against and they did run a ball. It's not like they didn't run the ball. It's just the Bills defense, they had a different game plan for it too. And I think this week, especially against Oakland, look to him to at least get 80-plus yards this week. At least.
80-plus yards. All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
And if my team loses again, I'm blaming it on you.
I mean, it's just one player. It's hard to blame it on one player, but we'll see.
I'm blaming the whole thing.
All right, you do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Goodness gracious. It was a phenomenal game, and I was honestly shocked by not that the Steelers won, but the way that they won. I think that's a huge dub for them, especially as they have to face the Raiders next week, who had a huge win against your rival Ravens.
That's right.
And what a phenomenal game that happened on Monday night. When you think about Monday night games, they usually aren't that good. They're usually games that aren't that interesting. The quality of the Monday night football game has really devalued over, I'd say, the past 6 years. But that was a phenomenal game to kickstart The Raiders had to win the game twice. Um, the Ravens showed that they can still have a running game, but Derek Carr also showed that he teases us with this stuff, but he showed that he may be able to take that next step that you'd want out of a QB. And that dude, Darren Waller, looks like he is absolutely the real deal again.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what everyone was predicting, that he's the second best besides Kittle, besides Kelsey. I mean, he's passed Kittle in my opinion already. Kittle's going to have the injury history, and I just think with his quarterback situation too. But I mean, you can't. Derek Carr has been a guy overlooked a lot too. Waller's doing it with Derek Carr out there, but I do think Derek Carr is a decent quarterback. He's just one of those mediocre ones. I don't think he's anything special. But I mean, Darren Waller's just a different animal out there with this size and
Showed
speed.
him guts.
Yeah.
He made two phenomenal passes, or actually three phenomenal passes, when he had no timeouts, and he had to get around what 40 yards, or is it more than 40 yards? He had to get around 40 to 45 yards to get his team in the field goal range.
Yeah.
And he did that with three beautiful throws to set his team up to tie the game, to push it to overtime.
No timeouts, which is incredible. Incredible.
And then to win the game on a play, on a touchdown play, where you thought that they were just going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Sure is. It's just Baltimore too. They're a good defense, and they let that happen. I mean, it's just being able, just letting them get those with no timeouts. I mean, you cannot let that happen.
They let them go straight through the middle, which is like 101. You protect the sidelines, but it wasn't just them giving these dump offs 5 yards, and they're gaining like 12 yards at a time. They were gaining 15 to 20 yards each time down the seams. That is absolutely unacceptable and not an effective way to win the game in those times.
Yeah.
Really disappointed with the Ravens on that.
Yeah, I mean, not having Marcus Peters could be a factor in that too, but still, that just being able to get over the middle, that isn't on one guy and one cornerback to stop that, but still, the Ravens are way better than that, and I mean, they're still going to be okay, and I think they're going to be obviously contending for being a division champs. They're still in that discussion, but still, that was just disappointing ending for them, because I really didn't think they were going to let them be able to get down and have a chance to win that game.
Yeah. And I thought that Lamar Jackson didn't play a great game, but he played good enough to win. And some of his teammates definitely let him down. Mark Andrews, tight end, who was supposed to, I think you can call him a top 5 tight end in the league. He did not look like a top 5 tight end. And as the person that's supposed to be their leading receiver, even though they picked up Sammy Watkins in the offseason, Hollywood Brown looked pretty good in the game. But for Mark Andrews to drop those passes, and it didn't look like he was able to get open, really disappointing. And I think that's a huge factor into what caused the Ravens to lose.
Absolutely. And then it also is on Lamar Jackson as well. A couple more turnovers again. The fumbles seem to still be a problem for Lamar Jackson still.
Oh man, you can't blame that on Lamar Jackson. He was getting hounded.
Well, I know that, but
by Max Crosby the whole damn game.
Still, you got to hold on to the football. I know quarterbacks, but being able to run, you should think that you'd be able to hold the ball, being a ball carrier per se, like not a running back. Secondary.
Man, there is only so many times that you can hold on to the ball if you continuously get hit.
I know. It's just, but when he takes off though, that one he was taking off and he fumbled it.
Oh yeah, well that was a mistake. I'm thinking about the fumble at the end of the game.
No. I'm sorry, but that fumble, he cannot have those kind of turnovers, especially fumbling the ball like that. I mean, if you're a running quarterback, you have to hold on to the football. I mean, you're a running back or receiver, you're a position, you're like a position player at that point. I can't even think of the word, whatever. But you got to hold on to football if you're that kind of player. Especially you can't have turnovers like that to cost your team points.
Yeah. You really can't. We'll see if the Ravens are going to be able to come back because they're playing Kansas City next week. And that's a tough game. And dropping 0-2 in y'all's division is that's not a good sign. 2 games back in a division where the Steelers and the Browns are looking to be in the playoffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, I mean,
It's
it,
you don't want to be 0-2 in a division like this. That's for sure. That you got a mountain to climb at that point early in the season. It's not mean it's over.
I guess the silver lining is that the Browns eventually lost to the Chiefs last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is I don't know what to think about that game. I know this isn't on our script for today, but I don't know what to think about that game with the Browns going ahead of the Chiefs and then just letting them back in the game.
The thing it showed me is that the Browns can keep up with any team. I think that they can go shoot out with the team, but can their defense be able to? That showed me that their defense gave up all those points, but it is probably the best offense in the league in Kansas City to let them come back in the game. But like in big moments like that, when you have a defensive battle where you just need that one stop, is the Browns can be able to make that stop. They got a good defense, but
They weren't able to make that stop last week.
Exactly.
Well, I can't say that. The offense definitely put that defense at a disadvantage
True.
on that turnover.
Yes, they sure did.
I can't blame that all on the Browns.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the Browns to not be able to pull off that win, a little bit disappointing when you're talking about a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. And I think you can safely say that they do have Super Bowl aspirations.
I agree. I mean, they proved
I
themselves.
ain't saying they're going to win it, but, they in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, last
year they have a chance.
They beat my Steelers in the playoffs last year. That's a big statement going into this year and gave them some confidence that, hey, and playing the Chiefs like that, even though they lost, I mean, they did give up all those, let them back in the game. But they saw that lead they put on them. If they can figure out how to stop them, they know they can score on them. So now they'll see them again if they make the playoffs. And I think if that somehow happens, that would be one heck of a rematch. But they definitely are contenders for they have
contenders, yeah. All right, let's move on to this next game where it's going to be the first of 2 surprising results. And I don't think there was anything more surprising than Jameis Winston leading the Saints to I don't even know what that score was. Oh my goodness. Did the score end up being in the 40s? They didn't. A 38-3 win over the Packers. Do you I'm all for hyperbole and I'm prone to it every now and then. That has to be one of the biggest wins in at least like 4 or 5 years of just like, damn, that happened.
I like statement games and just like the biggest surprise of like a week one or didn't expect it at all. Did not expect that one bit. I mean, I had what was the spread? Whatever the spread was, I had Green Bay. I was like, that's an easy pick. I was like, oh, Green Bay's just, Saints, they lost Breeze.
Yeah.
They got a good defense, but I think Rodgers is going to be able to, he can beat any defense. So I was like, all of Green Bay's got this. Little did I know.
You look at last year and the Saints beat the Bucks 38-3 in their first game last year.
Oh, see, I forgot about that.
But that didn't seem as dire as this ass whooping was. That was a straight up ass whooping.
It was. I think it's also because you don't have Drew Brees at quarterback. You got Jameis Winston now. I think everyone's had him written off like, oh, I mean, there's no way he's going to be able to even give the Saints a chance. They need to get a quarterback. This is going to be a terrible season. Like, offense isn't going to be great because he can't even hit his targets, and he's just so inaccurate prior to this year, and so no one just had any hope in him at all. I think even Saints fans didn't have much hope in him, honestly.
And I mean, Jameis, he threw the ball 20 times. He threw for 148 yards and 5 touchdowns. I can't even look at Jameis and be like, yo, was that a good game? Or, like, it definitely wasn't a bad game.
No.
Maybe I can't say it was a good game. It wasn't a great game. It looked like the Packers defeated themselves more than the Saints won. And goodness gracious, man.
I totally
Aaron Rodgers. Him and that man bun growing out his hair, he's going through a midlife crisis. He better it better be over soon. Otherwise, he
should have just retired when he said he was going to retire.
Oh man, don't say that, man. You full of it, man. Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man, as my man and mentor Stephen A. Smith would always say. But he's still a bad man.
I agree.
And I think the most shocking part about that is that, like, holding Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay to 3 points is a surprising thing.
And
the 38 points from New Orleans is not surprising. It is Green Bay not being able to even score a touchdown. I don't even think they had over 200 yards on the day.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers throwing 2 interceptions too. I mean, I think he went through 4 all of last year, something like that. I mean, that having 2 in the first game, that's not like him.
He was MVP last year.
I know. That's not Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, the season he had last year was incredible. And he had 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, only 133 yards, 15 for 28. That is just a very, very rare occurrence that we're not used to seeing from Aaron Rodgers.
That was absolutely Aaron Rodgers' worst game of his career.
I think it's up there. I'd have to probably look at other
There's
stats.
no other way for him to go but up. I still think he's a phenomenal QB. I still think Green Bay is a really good team. But wow, this is a wake-up call. There's going to be eyes on them next week. And this upcoming week, they better do something. Otherwise, people are going to be doubting. I hope you didn't put money on them.
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, good.
Not this week. I'm sitting out this week. They killed me last week. So.
I feel you, man. How about those people that thought they got Aaron Rodgers for stealing those late round fantasy footballs?
Oh, and that was one of them, one league. Oh man, 1.32. That's the point. Only 1 point. Man. That from a quarterback.
That is terrible, man.
A quarterback getting 1 point is might as well.
Terrible, man.
I mean, he's knucklehead, but you get 1 point fantasy with a quarterback, you're done. You pretty much have to get carried by your receivers and running backs.
Yep.
And your kicker's got to go off for like 15. Defense has got to get a couple touchdowns.
Everything has to go right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Goodness. So surprising, man.
The other surprising game of this weekend was none other than the Cardinals putting a whooping up on the Titans. And even the Titans head coach was talking about my man Julio, because Julio did not play well and then got a dumb personal foul.
That's right. He was. I actually drafted him. I was kind of hyping him up a little bit, being on a new team. being like kind of like the number 2 receiver, because I feel like AJ Brown's still going to get the number 1 corners. They might switch depending on who's more hot that day. But he just did not look good Sunday at all.
Knucklehead. Yeah,
For-
I mean, Kyler Murray was phenomenal. The dude was absolutely great throwing the ball. Made some really tough throws and made it look absolutely easy. Is this dude actually in the MVP conversation? I mean, it's after week 1, but he showed us something there that it could be possible if he's able to make those throws, not even have those huge of days as he had against other teams, but like dude balled out using his arm.
Yes, that's the main thing. His arm. We know he can run the ball too, but with his arm looking like that, I mean, that especially that one throw he made, rolling out like just lobbed it up pretty much, just kind of like it was falling back, and it ended up being like a dime. Dropped it right in a bread basket.
And that wasn't a lucky throw.
No,
There's sometimes when you're like, okay, that's an Eli Manning in the Super Bowl lucky throw. That was not it. That was a calculated throw where he knew where to put it to where his wide receivers were going to get it, and that's what happened. An absolute dime.
Yeah. It was probably the best throw of the weekend for sure, at least of the NFL. That was just incredible.
Yep. And DeAndre Hopkins still looking great. But how about this defense? That man, Chandler Jones, 5 sacks.
One game. That's Madden. That's like you're playing Madden and getting that and just blitzing every time to get that number.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They ended up getting 6 sacks on the day. Your boy J.J. Watt did not get a sack. I know you put money down for him to get a sack, but overall, that Arizona defense has slowly been getting better and better, and they are absolutely looking like the real deal too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And back to that Chandler Jones too. So he got 5 sacks that game.
5 sacks.
And the total sacks for the sack leader last year was 15, right? Correct?
I think so.
That is absurd.
Yeah, it absolutely is obscured.
Skirt.
A little bit of that country came out of you, huh?
Yeah, that's the South, man. That's the South talking.
Yeah, you've only been here a few months, and I already hear it, man.
Well, I'm from West Virginia originally,
I hear that twang
so
in your voice. Probably hanging out with Venom too much too.
Yeah, probably. Oh man.
But Arizona looked good, and Tennessee looked terrible.
Yeah, dude, Derrick Henry was non-existent that game at all. But they got when you're down like that, that's the problem with the Titans. If they get down, all Derrick Henry can do is pretty much run, and he really don't have much opportunity to run the ball when you're down. So they did look awful.
He was a disappointment. A.J. Brown had 4 catches for 49 yards, 1 touchdown. Julio Jones had 3 catches for 29 yards, no touchdowns.
That's a Michael Thomas game right there.
Amen. Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
You're allowed to say he's having that. He's not on your team anymore.
I will refuse to upload this podcast onto my RSS feed if you mention that name one more time.
Oh man.
Did you see the people on my chat yesterday working around saying that man's name? They would put the 0 instead of the O. I had to ban that word.
I mean, you opened up the floodgates, man, when you're saying how much you love Michael Thomas. So
Tennessee looked terrible. And absolutely a disappointment as I think we both chose them to win the AFC South. But quite frankly, Carson Wentz and the Colts aren't good. Jacksonville isn't good. Urban Meyer's looking to go to USC this week.
Yeah.
They aren't good. The only other team in the South that may be competing with them is the Texans, led by Tyrod Taylor. And we don't know exactly if the Texans are good. They weren't supposed to be good. They don't have their best player who's on administrative leave, or he's not on administrative leave, but he ain't playing.
Yeah, he's not
He's
playing.
he's in he's in some de facto administrative leave. But if you're thinking about the only team to challenge this poor Titans team is Houston. My goodness, man, that whole division is not looking good right as of this moment.
No, not at all. They're definitely look like the weakest link in the AFC as a whole that in that division. So Titans are lucky in that sense that they lose in that game. And Arizona, like I said, I predicted them to go to the playoffs. They're a great team. So losing that game, and it's an NFC opponent, doesn't hurt them as much when you lose those NFC opponent games when it comes to the playoff picture, because it goes division and then AFC opponents after the second tiebreaker. So it's it's week 1, 2, but still, I mean, let's see how they bounce back in week 2, because I mean they just did not look good at all.
Yeah, they just absolutely didn't. And we'll see who they play in week 2, but not before we go talk about this last game. That was not a shock to me, and it could have been very interesting. It could have been very interesting. It was very interesting. And that has to be the kickoff game, none other than that Thursday night game. The Buccaneers playing the Cowboys, where the Cowboys looked really good. Their defense did not look too strong, but I think that's not a good barometer when you're going up a team like the Buccaneers, who they looked like they had 3 number 1 receivers, man. I don't know if there's going to be a defense out there that can stop that.
No,
And
that
for Dak Prescott to come back from that injury, throw over 50 times, and he put his team in a situation to win.
he sure
I
did.
counted one bad pass by Dak Prescott. And that was one time when he got a little too frisky trying to push it over the middle and it got intercepted. But that was the only bad pass that happened from Dak Prescott. And you can expect those things. I'm not even going to count that one against them.
No.
Dak Prescott looked good. And I'd even say that Dak Prescott looked better than Tom Brady.
I agree. I totally agree. And like you said, that he put him in his team in a position to win, and it went on the kicker missing those field goals and an extra point. Right, he missed 2 field goals, extra point, I believe. Um,
Yeah, that damn kicker. That is the kicker. The reason why they didn't win that game.
it is. He is the
It is
reason.
absolutely the kicker on why they didn't win that game.
Yeah.
Or actually, I can't say that because
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the Buccaneers would have done if they had to go down and get a touchdown,
True.
because that's what they would have needed if that extra point and that other field goal that were easy would have been made. But we can definitely agree that trying to go down in the final minutes and getting a touchdown is very different than trying to go down and just get a field goal.
Absolutely. It puts a lot more pressure. Your playbook changes. You have to figure out. You have a lot more yardage to go, and yeah, it definitely changes so much when you change it from a 3-point game to having to score a touchdown for sure. And but like Dak just looked amazing, and I even like anytime Dak's in that lineup since like the last 3 years, he's just, especially last year, especially before he got hurt, man, he was just on fire.
I'm fine.
And
He was the MVP of
yeah,
that after those first 4 games, correct? I think he got injured in the 5th
I
game,
think that's correct.
something around that. He was looking phenomenal.
Yeah,
He was looking absolutely phenomenal, and he looked phenomenal in that game against the Bucks, especially when he didn't have the running game
Yep.
to support him,
And
and I think that was part of the game plan.
yeah,
But man, if they if they are actually able to run the ball, it's just going to make Dak better.
absolutely. And I was going to get to that point too, and you just hit on it. And that was their game plan going in. That was just a toss a pigskin around, let Dak just beat him with the weapons out there. But when Zeke, having him now after what Dak just did, it was pretty much all him just throwing the ball, and you mix up with that running game, and you know what Zeke can do. And those two feed off each other too. So, I mean, that game for Cowboys fans should be very, very happy and excited to see what the rest of the season holds for them, because if they can keep that offense like they played, man, I think they got that division easy if that's the case, and might be able to have a run in the playoffs this year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that this Dallas team, I think they can still go 12-5.
Absolutely.
I think
doable.
they are that good.
They are. They're a scary team. You don't want to play them, especially in the playoffs. That's a team you hope to miss. You don't have to get matched up against them.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get a pass rush. But they got that man Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn allergic to a pass rush, if you ask me. I know this from experience.
I was gonna say, you would know.
I'm not trying to hate on Dallas or anything, but I just know. I just know.
Yeah.
That man is allergic.
You've been through it, man.
To a damn pass rush. What are you looking forward to in week 2? What are the questions you want answered in week 2?
Question week 2, first and foremost, is Aaron Rodgers going to bounce back? He has a perfect opportunity.
Absolutely.
Perfect opportunity against a division opponent he's been just dominating ever since he's been a starter for the Green Bay Packers against the Lions, and that's gonna be the game to watch to see, is he going to rebound? Is he going to be back to the Aaron Rodgers we know? And his Devontae Adams, he still got Devontae Adams there, and he really didn't do much. I mean, he did make some plays, but he just couldn't do much with how they looked. I mean, Rodgers just so bad. So this is going to be a big question and a big rebound game for him. And I think he will. I think Aaron Rodgers will bounce back. It's back home in Green Bay in front of the fans. I think that's going to be a help to him as well.
If he doesn't get booed.
Well, he might get booed, and who knows? He might feed off that and just go off.
Well,
so
I also think the fans would be idiots if they booed
of
him,
course.
But, fans are typically idiots. They're fanatics.
Yep.
That's what happens. The thing that I'm looking forward to, because it's more personal to me, my team in that division, I want to know if Jameis is for real or not. Does he actually know where to throw the ball? Is his eyes actually that good? Or is this Saints team going to continue to be good without Drew Brees? And then also, they're without that other bum wide receiver. Maybe that's a benefit to them. It probably is a benefit to them. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see are the Saints actually going to be good? Are they going to be able to push that Bucs team? Because I can tell you, if we're going to talk about last year, I think that Saints team was definitely better than the Bucs. Now, Drew Brees had an epic meltdown in that playoff game. And it's not like Tom Brady looked phenomenal in that playoff game.
No.
But if Jameis Winston is actually able to lead that team, that's going to be very interesting to look at. And a very interesting development for the NFC as a whole. That changes the complexion of the NFC if the Saints are actually able to be good with Jameis.
It sure does. And another thing all Jameis has to do is not turn the ball over, in which he's struggled with in the past. And if he can do what he did on Sunday, just even if it doesn't throw out much, but he's consistent. He was very efficient with his. He had 5 touchdown passes and 14 throws. So I mean, if you can just stay very efficient, he has a great defense behind him. That defense is very, very, very good defense, and I think they're still missing a couple people. So I think having him, if he can just be efficient, be a good game manager, don't turn the ball over, and let that defense pick you up, they could be a scary team and a dark horse this year.
Outside of the Steelers, because apparently they have to put that caveat on. What is another interesting game that you're looking forward to?
Another interesting game. Let's see. Let's not prepare. Let's see.
Tell you what, I'm interested.
Let's hear yours.
I think I'm very interested in that Titans Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see if the Titans are going to be bounced back, because the Titans should be good, right? They did lose their offensive coordinator to the Falcons, and I don't even know if that bum is good, because he looked like a certified bum in week 1. But, I want to see, are the Titans going to be able to bounce back, and are the Seahawks going to be really good? Because they're 1-0.
And Russell
Wilson's going to be Russell Wilson.
I mean,
okay, he's going to be him, and that's a given.
And Lockett went off on Sunday. He was the receiver that went off, and even Metcalf finally found the end zone there late. But it's just with those two, one of them is going to have their game. It's going to be one or the other, because they're just 1A, 1B when it comes to WR1. So I think Russ is doing what he did last year. But can he hold it all longer this year? Last year he kind of fell off. He had that MVP-esque start last year where he was just going off. And can he keep that going this year? Because he's already off to another great start with the game he had on Sunday. And of course his deep ball still looks beautiful. It's probably the best deep ball in the game just by the looks of it. I just love to see that deep ball every game.
Who else? What other game are you looking forward to?
Actually, Chargers versus Cowboys.
Yeah, that is going to be a good game. It's a lot of good games this next weekend.
Chargers, I just want to see Justin Herbert up against Dak. I want to see both of them sling the ball. And I still think that Dallas is going to be running it more. But I think it might be a shootout. As we know, Justin Herbert has seen what he's got a little over a year now. In a game, and he looks pretty good. He got his team a win. He didn't look great on Sunday, but I think that was that was a team kind of struggled as a team, and some of the receivers, some drops, but we'll see what he does against the Cowboys, because I think that's going to be a high scoring game this Sunday.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think we're all going to be looking towards the Chiefs and Ravens.
Oh, yeah,
just because Mahomes is always must-see TV.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Lamar Jackson is must-see TV as well. But it's going to be interesting because the Ravens don't need to go 0-2. And the Chiefs kind of scuffled last week a little bit. Let's see if they'll be able to bounce back and show that dominance. But it's going to be tough against that really good team.
It is. It sure is. The Ravens had a rough one. I mean, Raiders, I look on the schedule, they probably thought, they were favored in the game, but when you lose that one and have to go into the powerhouse of the Chiefs, that's rough. Rough start.
So, let's transition a little bit into Major League Baseball. We have 2 weeks left. We've gone into much detail about the potential of who's going to make the playoffs. It's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out. But there are 2 MVP conversations that we got to look at. The first one is the AL. Who do you have, Ohtani or Vladdy Daddy Jr.?
I'm going with my pick early in the season, Vladdy Daddy Jr. I've been riding with him the whole way.
With Vlad too. I mean, the way that he's helping propel that Blue Jays team and has the potential for a triple crown. If he gets that triple crown, I think that it should be no doubt. But I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that. Jose Abreu is currently holding that spot right now.
Yeah, it's
But even if he doesn't get to, say if he doesn't get to Triple Crown, do you still have Vladdy Daddy?
I still do because I think that they're
Yeah.
going to make the playoffs, and pretty
Yeah.
much solely on his back this year. I've had other players step up. Simeon's
Simeon's
yeah,
been playing at
he's
an
been playing
MVP
good.
level too.
But I just think with Vladdy just being as consistent as he has been the whole year, it's just allowed other players to kind of get the time to step up. And once they got going, then that's when the rest of the team just started. And they're doing. Their pitching is not that great. They got Robbie Ray, who's been going off recently, but I think that's what's going to hurt them in the playoff run if they do make the playoffs. Is their rotation and their bullpen. That's I think that obviously is their weakness. They got great offense, young offense, but they have some work to do in the future here in the next couple of years and getting that rotation and bullpen figured out and some additions. But I still go with Vladdy. I mean, Ohtani's been great. I mean, being a pitcher and a hitter this year, he's up there with the home run chase here for the lead, and it's amazing. But his average is down. I know he's not an average hitter, but what Vladdy's doing, like all three categories up the top, it's just man. And then leading his team, Ohtani, big. A lot of people like to throw out Ohtani. The Angels aren't going to make the playoffs, and then the Blue Jays have a good chance of making the playoffs. I mean, they're right there. It's going to be this final stretch is going to be very fun to watch. In the AL East for sure. To see this wild card spots play out. But that's kind of the icing on the cake for my Vladdy pick is just he's getting his team to the playoff opportunity.
Oh, I hear you. Now let's go over to the NL. Because I've been a big proponent of Austin Riley and Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy. Now I never said that they were going to be shoo-ins, but I did think they needed to be in the conversation. However, you got to look at what Bryce Harper has done over the past few weeks and been like, damn, he's really put his name solely against Tatis in that race.
Yes.
However, I'm not sure, even if Harper is on fire, if he should get it over Tatis. And quite frankly, both teams might not make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. This is a different situation.
Who wins it at that point?
Who
wins it at that point? Like, it's Bryce is doing this now, and his team still might not make the playoffs. They might, but they might not.
Yeah, I mean they have the better odds, I think, but I mean they could both be on the outside looking in come October, and this is a tough one because Harper has come on late. Tatis is still, I mean he's still good, but I mean I haven't really honestly been paying too much attention to that, but he's not been going off like he was there early, but it could be injury related too. He's just they're kind of catching up to him and not being able to.
I mean, dude's still been going off. It just hasn't been at the same rate as he was before, which is kind of unsustainable. But on this past week when Tatis was playing against the Giants, or I think it was a couple days ago against Kevin Gausman, a potential Cy Young guy. He went 4 for 4 in that game.
Yeah.
Dude's still hitting. Dude is still a monster. And he's hanging in. He hasn't been injured. And with him hanging in, I still got to go with Tatis.
I think I do too. And Harper has been going off recently. Like his last 12 games have been pretty phenomenal. But I still probably go with Tatis here as well because looking at the whole season as a whole, and when they didn't have him, they were kind of falling off, and then when they came back, accelerated them back into the race again. And what he means to that Padres team, I think he means more than Harper does to the Phillies.
Yeah, I feel that. Now, here's my thing. That when you look at Bryce Harper, and the Phillies. They've been scuffling. It's not like they've been playing phenomenal ball. Bryce Harper does good in their wins, but in their losses, he's not there. He's invisible, and I
Yeah.
think that has to be taken into account as well.
Yeah.
That like they lost a couple games to Colorado. They got swept by Arizona. They lost 2 out of 3 to Arizona at home. If the MVP is on my team, that's not happening. So it's like, is he putting up empty stats? Because people are looking at just the stats, but are kind of ignoring how this Phillies team still isn't like the way that Bryce Harper is going off. You think that the Phillies would be in first place and wouldn't be 500 in their past 10 games and 500 in their past 20 games. You think that they'd have a better record, but they don't.
Yeah.
So how valuable has his bat actually been?
And it's hard to put all that on one player still
Yeah,
in
it is. It
baseball.
is.
But still, you think that they would be better than where they're at, like the record wise, and more of a division chance of division, or because that division right now, it's probably one of the Central's the weakest, but they still, I mean, they even have division chances like between two teams. From that, I thought Braves were going to run away with it, to be honest, and because the Phillies just, I didn't think they were going to be able to come back. I did predict that they were going to make the playoffs though a few weeks ago, but yeah, I don't know. You do got to take that in consideration. That Harper, you would think that the rest of the team would feed off it, and he would be making a bigger difference with their record with what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
and all I'm asking is like, are these empty stats?
they could be,
And they
very
have a
possibly
tinge
so.
of emptiness.
Yeah,
They have a tinge of
they do.
emptiness.
They do.
All right, let's get into our slip in the man picks of the week. We have 4 games for you where we are going to be picking NFL games against the spread. It's going to be very interesting games. First game, Chiefs -3.5 at the Ravens. Who do you have?
I have Chiefs -3.5.
You have Chiefs -3.5.
Yep.
Ooh, man. I think I'm gonna go. I think the Ravens are gonna bounce back, and I still think they're gonna be able to keep it close. So I am going to go with Ravens +3.5. Man, one thing I've learned about myself is that I love taking some points, man. You give me some points. I got that game yesterday with the Giants in Washington. I took those points, and it was safe. I was good to go.
We'll see. That's gonna be a good game. That's a tough one to pick, especially with the spread. So, I'll put this down here.
So
okay.
Next, we have the Cowboys at the Chargers. Cowboys +3 at the Chargers. Wow. And now this would regularly be a push, but they're saying the Chargers are even, but getting the 3 points at home. What do you got with that?
Cowboys +3.
Cowboys +3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got Cowboys +3 too, man.
I mean, that's hard.
Bad.
I mean,
is that a gimme?
Lord, yeah, I think
Is that a gimme?
That is a gimme, I think.
Oh man.
I mean,
Next, and this is surprising, especially after what we talked about this past week and how the Lions almost came back against the 49ers. They were driving 90 yards to go, no timeouts like Phillip Rivers. We have Lions +10.5 at the Packers. What you got here?
I'm going Lions +10.5.
Ooh, man, I'm taking the points too, man.
Oh, really?
Goodness gracious. I thought you were going to go Green Bay right there. I really thought you were going to go Green Bay.
That's too tough,
10.5?
10.5
is too much, man.
It is way too much.
10.5 is too much. They're slipping on us.
They are slipping. What happened, man? What happened there?
All right. And finally, in the last game that we talked about a little bit of what we're looking forward to, we have Titans +5.5 at the Seahawks. What do you have here?
I I'm gonna go Seahawks minus 5.5.
Ooh, you gonna go Seahawks? Go Hawks, right?
Go
Well,
Hawks.
not for me because I'm going Titans. I think my boy Julio Jones gonna have a big game and gonna fight back.
All right.
All right.
We'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see then. All right then. But right now, compared to the last games, the last time we picked, I chose Wisconsin and the Giants, and you chose Wisconsin and the Dodgers. Wisconsin lost to Penn State, and the Giants beat the Dodgers. That pushes my overall record to 5-6. That pushes your record to 6-5.
And there you go on the screen there.
Wait, did you got 2 losses there? You're 5-6. Wait a second.
You slipped up there. Hey, that's
slipped
not
up
what I mean.
I messed up.
Okay.
Oh, you're 5-6. We're even, baby. We're even. Yes.
Never happened before.
Oh my goodness, we're even.
All right.
Someone's not going to be even here, or maybe it could be.
We'll see.
That's going to be good. Do we have a Twitch clip of the week?
We do.
All right, let's see it.
All right, let's get over to it. Hopefully this transitions smoothly. Okay. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Clip of the week.
Oh, damn.
This clip is from earlier in the week when Slip, the little prefs here, he loves to talk about momentum. He full believer in momentum. So this is a clip. We caught him slipping here during his stream.
What happened there?
I don't know. So let's check out this clip, and it's kind of an inside joke. So some of you might not get it because you had to be there, but. Really, and Slip doesn't believe in momentum, really. That
I don't.
It's not a factor.
Momentum is made up. It's fake. It's illogical.
Yeah. See, he's oblivious. He doesn't even get it. So this is why this clip's funny. So let's see what this clip has to offer.
Scherzer might be the momentum swinger for this Dodgers team. Scherzer might be the momentum swinger for this Dodgers team.
Goodness gracious.
Momentum swinger, huh? Look at that momentum swinger. So what happened? So let's hear about. So what happened there? Literally.
So this is what happened. I was just talking, and I was gas bagging, and I slipped up. It just came out my mouth, man. I guess I have a little bit of momentum belief in me, but that's just.
And that must be how you got your nickname.
General concept, it's nonsense.
That's how you got your nickname, huh? You slipped up so many times, and just like, okay, what is it gonna cause me to slip?
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, this has been Slip in the Man, where we bring you the biggest topics and news, along with our jokes, thoughts, notes, opinions, outlook, viewpoints, and beliefs. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher Radio. Please rate, subscribe, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe, re-rate, re-review, and we'll talk to you next week. And as always, don't slip on the man.
Don't slip on the man.